Hello, pre-cal. We're going to go over Unit 7, Polar and Conics, however you want to say it, tomato. Day 3, notes, circles. If you'd like to read this, gives you a little bit more insight as to what we're about to do. Help yourself. I'm going to go ahead and skip over that and get to some math. What shape does the graph r equals sine of theta give you? Now, this is what we worked on last class. So sine y-axis, the number in front is positive. So positive y-axis, that number in front would be 1. So from the pole there, we could, oh darn, it was looking like it was going to be a pretty good circle, and then I messed it up. Anyway, that's what we learned last class, apply circles. When we convert r equals sine of theta, when we convert that equation into rectangular form, this is the formula here for that. Now this right here, h and k, that tells you where the center of your radius is. And it's opposite of what you think it would be. So anyway, I'll explain that whenever we actually have a scenario to where we have to plot. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and go down to example 1. Sketch the graph of the equation and fill in the blanks. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Perfect. X squared plus y squared equals 9. Notice we don't have an h value. We don't have a k value. So our center is going to be 0, 0. And remember that formula once again. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So this is r squared right there. So in order to solve for r, we would have to square root both sides. So our radius is going to be 3. So what that means is from the center, we're going to go up 3, put a dot, left 3, dot, right 3, dot, down 3, dot, and then draw a circle. Woo! That is a very, very good freehand circle. That might be my, I'm taking a picture of that. Don't give me a second. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Picture. I'm going to post that on my social later. Okay, here we go. I'm having to hold back laughter because I realize how cringy that is. Let's get to math. All right, here we go. Domain. Remember, domain are all values from left to right. That's one way of thinking about it. So -3 to +3. Range, those are all of the values from bottom to top. So -3, +3. And I think we have answered all the questions there for that problem. Excellent. All righty, so for example 2, we don't want to have a value in front of x squared or y squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide everything in this problem by 2. Divide that by 2, divide that by 2, divide that by 2, and we would get x squared plus y squared equals 4. So that's what we're going to graph. X squared plus y squared equals 4. Okay, this is in standard form. So we don't have it written in x minus h squared plus y minus k squared format. Therefore, our center is going to be 0, 0 at the pole. Once again, our r squared value is 4. So if you square root of both sides, you get 2. That's our radius. So from the pole up 2, left 2, down 2, right 2. Domain from left to right, -2, +2. Range from bottom to top, -2, +2. All right, let's go to side 2 of the notes. Hey, now we have it written in x minus 2 squared or x minus h squared plus y minus k squared format. Therefore, we're going to have a shift here. Now, I guess one of the more basic ways, and this usually works, to find the center is keep the number, but flip the sign. Keep the number, flip the sign. So our center is 2, -3. Now here's why that works, in case you're wondering. X minus h, remember this 2, -2, that's the h value. So if we take -h, that's part of the formula, -h, and set that equal to -2, and then solve for h, we'd have to divide away the negative. So h equals +2. So that's how you get it to be positive. All right, let me go ahead and plot this. So right 2, down 3. That's going to be the center. Our radius, we would take the square root of that number there. That would give us 4. So from the center, 1, 2, 3, up 4. 1, 2, 3, left 4. Down 4. And right 4. Now, as far as my domain and range, I'm gonna do something different. You could count from the center, you could count down, you could count up, you could count left, you could count right. But let me show you another way too, because they may test you over this and not give you a picture. So another way you could do it is, we're gonna do, in order to do our domain, let's do our h value minus the radius. And now we're gonna do our h value plus the radius. That's our domain. For our range, we are going to take the k value minus the radius. And now our h value plus the radius. And that's another way of getting your domain and range. Okay, look at example 4. Uh-oh. We have a number in front of x and y. That's okay. Just divide away that number from both sides. Now, whenever we do that, it will not impact anything inside the parentheses. So we're just left with x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 4. That's what we need to graph. What do you think the center is going to be? If you said -1, 4, well done. Reward yourself with some goldfish. It's the snack that smiles back. Unless, of course, you're allergic, then don't do that. Reward yourself with something else. Let's plot -1, 4. -1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me use a different color so it stands out. 1, 4. There's the center. Our radius is going to be the square root of that number. Ah, great. The square root of that number. And that would be 2. So from our center up to, down to, right to, left to. Domain, I'm going to use that trick I showed you just a little bit earlier. I'm going to do the h value minus the radius. And now the h value plus the radius. For the range, let's do the k value minus the radius. And the k value plus the radius. Pow! See how easy this is? And now write the equation of the graphs below in standard form. Let's see, looking at example 5, looks like we are, if we go up, down, left, right, we are equal distance from the center. So this is going to start off very similar to those first ones that we had to graph. X squared plus y squared equals, now be careful here. It's 5, it's from the pole to here, it's 5. From the pole to here, it's 5, and so on. Well, so our radius is 5. But remember, this is the r squared term. So we would need to square that to be right. Correct, to be correct. All right, example 6. Looks like we do have a center of 1 comma -2. X minus, this is our h value. Remember, they're going to be opposite what you think they would be. Plus y minus, this is k value. And minus -2, we'll change it to +2, is equal to, now let's try and figure out what our radius is. Looks like from here at -2, here's where -2 is. To get up here to 0, we'd have to go up to here, which is -2. To get down here, we'd have to go down to, so our radius is 2. Radius is 2, but this right here is the r squared term, so we would need to square that to get our final answer. Complete the square to write the equation of the circle in standard form. Yay! We haven't done completing the square in a while. And we got a lot going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our x values side by side. So there's x squared minus 4x. And now let's get our, right beside our x values, let's place our y values side by side. So plus y squared minus 2y minus 4 equals 0. Now I'm going to do this step by step for the first time so you have a understanding of what we need to do. So first step, get all your x's together, get all your y's together, and then you're going to want to add anything over or subtract anything over. In this case, we had to add that doesn't have an x or y. Okay, now what we want to do is what we're trying to go for here is we're trying to create perfect square trinomials so that we can complete the square. This is the pattern. This is the way that you do it. So I'm going to start rewriting a whole new formula, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. So x squared minus 4x. The pattern is then go plus blank. We're going to have to add something here. And then continue with plus y squared minus 2y, and then plus blank equals 4. Now on the left side of the equation, we're about to add a new number here. We're going to add a new number here. And remember, we can do that so long as we add those exact same numbers here too. So just put a little reminder to yourself. I'm going to have to add a number here and here also. Okay, here's how we complete the square. Whatever this number is, divided by 2. Well, that would give us -2. And then you take that number and square it, which is going to give us +4. So we put that number here and here. Now, in order to complete the square, in order to fill in this blank, we're going to take the middle term there, whatever it is. Oops, I don't really need parentheses yet, sorry. Take that number, divide it by 2. So give us -1. and then square it. That squared is 1, and we're going to add that here. Okay, now go with me for a second. I'm going to cover up this work to show you what I'm about to do. This right here is now a perfect square trinomial. If we were to factor that, we would need the factors of 4 that add to get 4. Well, that would be 2 and 2. They would have the exact same sign. They would both be negative. Negative, negative. Now you could group them and then factor by grouping. But since our leading coefficient is 1, I'm going to do the shortcut. You could just take these factors and plug them right into parentheses. Okay, so this factors to this, and since they're exactly the same, we only need one of them and square it. So this simplifies to this when we factor. So now I'm going to write that down. X minus 2 squared plus, now we're going to do the same thing here. The factors of 1 that add to get 2 are 1 and 1. Same signs, both negative. If you were now to factor this, we'd get y minus 1, y minus 1. They are exactly the same. So just keep 1 and square it. So this factors to this. Y minus 1 squared. And now we can set that equal to 4 plus 4 plus 1, which is 9. And we've done it. That's our answer. You ready for a shortcut? Remember when we took this number, divided it by 2, and got this? Look at that. Would you look at that? Remember when we took this number, divided it by 2? That's what we got. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm going to use the shortcut on the next problem. Example 8. Oh, darn it. Blast. We have numbers in front of X and Y. Good thing we can divide everything in here by 15. Divide it all by 15. That would give us X squared plus Y squared minus 10X 2Y plus, quick math, 22. Survey says, ding, 22. Okay. Now remember, we're going to bunch our X values together. We're then going to bunch our Y values together. And we're going to take any number that doesn't have X or Y, and we're going to swing it to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, now let's begin completing the square. Here we go. Plus blank. Then put a blank there and a blank there to remind myself if I'm going to add new values here, I got to add them to the right side of the equal sign as well. Okay, here's the pattern. Take that number, divide it by 2. That would give us -5. And remember, we're going to do the shortcut here. X minus 5 squared. We now need to fill in this gap. -5 squared, 25. So let's add 25 over here too. All right, here, let's take our middle term. divided by 2. We get -1. And now let's square it to get 1. So we need to add a 1 here. So we're almost done. All of this is equal to -22 plus 25 plus 1 is 4. Completing the square. And lastly, what identifying characteristics of the equations above let you know that you have an equation for a circle? Let's think about it for a second. What have we noticed? Ah, yes. Our x squared and our y squared have the same leading I'm running out of room, coefficient. Let's just do a rough abbreviation. X squared and y squared have the same leading coefficient. Your assignment is on Delta Math. You can do it if you try. VICTORY.